What's happening, you guys? Deeksy here with a quick little preseason reaction video for the Leafs and Canadiens. The Canadiens lose 2-1, losing their first preseason game to the Toronto Maple Leafs. There's enough content in this game that I felt like, all right, it's worth talking about. It's worth talking about to me. The first star for us, even though he wasn't given it in the game, was Yakuk Dobes. And frankly, that was a really, really telling performance just in terms of Canadiens fans that I don't know if a lot of you guys even watch preseason games, but I know the diehards that tune in right now to watch something like this, you guys do watch these preseason games to see what we have in the pipeline, to see who's coming, to see which Canadiens prospects you have to look forward to in the future. And I got to give a shout out to Tom. Where's Tom? You better be commenting on this video, buddy, because he is a viewer that has been telling you about Yakuk Dobes for the last couple of seasons. And frankly, tonight, take it as you will for a preseason game and that guys aren't going full tilt and everything, but in terms of just performance and the kind of saves we saw from Yakuk Dobes, even at the end of the game, that basically to keep the Canadiens in the game, that blocker save, that was a nice one. All right, so William Nylander goes out of this game early from an awkward play from Nick Robertson, who tries to push him closer to the defensive zone, and then Nylander gets his head clipped, right? And he goes out of the game for precautionary reasons, they say, because the Leafs never really tell you much of anything from their media that's true in terms of injuries to players, not too soon anyway. At least that's what it seems. I hear that from SDPN all the time. But Nylander goes out, and it's awkward in a sense because Nick Robertson allegedly did not want to be here after trade request this summer. It didn't happen. He's still a Toronto Maple Leaf. He ends up scoring the game-winning goal in this game and redeemed himself in that sense, but just kind of an awkward situation for them. And Austin Matthews apparently had, a upper body injury and couldn't play in this game, but the Leafs had a good chunk of their core in this game. A good chunk of them. I mean, you had Tanev and Riley together, you had Mitch Marner, you had Nylander to start this game, you had John Tavares, you had Max Domi, you had Nick Robertson, like I mentioned. You had a lot of regular guys. You had Ryan Reeves out there. Him and Jack A almost giving each other a bit of a, I'll see you in the regular season kind of thing in terms of deciding if they're going to fight. We're going to talk about the Canadiens specifically and Justin Barron. So maybe we'll just cut right to it. And before that, I'm going to say that we know Lane Hutson played about 25 minutes in that game. He did, and he was very, very good. Had a lot of good opportunities to make things happen, and we want to see Lane Hutson shoot the puck more. He can make plays. He's a shifty. Shifty is going to become part of his nickname in some way. I called him the ankle breaker last year because he just moves on a dime, and it's outstanding. It's a lot of fun to watch. So Justin Barron, I just had a chat with some of you guys on the Sick podcast with Tony Marinaro, my buddy Shane Gomel co-hosting again with Stu Cowan of the Montreal Gazette, and I was saying, Lane Hutson over Justin Barron, it's done. It's done. We've seen enough, but the Canadiens probably do not see it that way. They're going to be very patient, I feel like, with Justin Barron, and I say very, but they may not be very patient with him because I just feel like if there is one defenseman, by the way, that I think is going to make it out of this huge competition, I think it's Adam Engstrom. I think he looks the most solid. I think he looks just calm and poised in the defensive end, and even in the offensive end, he looks good too. He's a big body as well. I still trust Jaden Struble out there right now more than I do Justin Barron, though. But those guys are both lefties, right? David Reinbacher is going to go play in Laval for a full season. It might be good to have Logan Mailloux down there to mentor and guide and bring along David Reinbacher. I think that would just be a smart, good decision in terms of that side of it, the leadership side of it, and just how to be a good pro, how to become a good pro. Logan Mailloux did that last year with the Laval Rocket. However, if his play is showing more than Justin Barron, it's a tough decision for the Canadiens to make. I think the rest of the way, though, in terms of the preseason and training camp, Justin Barron just seems to have a little bit of a thinner rope from the fan side of things from what we're seeing. I mean, he tried to act like Lane Hutson out there near the end of the game in the third period, walk in the blue line, and then lost the puck at the blue line. I'm like, dude, just put the puck in deep. You don't got to do anything fancy. And then we saw the one-timer that he whiffed on, right? So it doesn't look good for Justin Barron from the fans' perspective and what I'm gathering. It's a lot of noise around him right now, overreacting in this preseason, but it's hard to know what else to think at this point other than the competition is going to be a lot harder for Justin Barron because other guys are showing more. Adam Engstrom is showing more. Jaden Struble, I didn't see a ton from tonight, but I just trust him back there. He's more solid. He's got more NHL, well, he doesn't have more NHL experience necessarily than Barron, but he has more confidence. It's always been about confidence for Justin Barron. We continue to hear that. And the confidence just still isn't there. He looks the same as last year at this particular moment. So if he makes the team, which I suspect he will still, because they can't lose him on waivers, they don't want to, I don't think the Canadiens are going to rush anybody right now. I think Justin Barron will probably end up with the Canadiens to start the season. It just seems as if right now we haven't seen anything better. Not much than last year from him. And even size-wise, he looks skinny on his skates. And I'm a slender guy. Like, I got nothing to say in terms of that, but I don't know if you guys noticed that, but like just in terms of a physical impression, he doesn't leave much to be desired there still, to me. Other than that, Yakuk Dobes, like I mentioned, a great performance. Emil Heineman, 4 hits. He had a big hit on Tanev at the end of the game. Some of you guys felt like, you know, Heineman hasn't made him enough of an impression. I think he looks okay. They're not going to let go of him just yet, but you guys tell me your thoughts. Owen Beck, I didn't see too much from tonight. I would have liked to see a bit more from him. A lot of you guys like Kapanen. There is a lot of thought that he's going to go back, you know, to Switzerland. Is it Switzerland or Sweden? I think it's Sweden, to dominate over there. And I don't think we're going to see him necessarily right to start the season. I don't think Christian Dvorak is going anywhere right now. I think he's still a solid player, not just because he scored the only goal tonight for the Canadiens, but I do think Christian Dvorak is going to stick around for a while longer, as is Jake Evans. So yeah, I don't think Kapanen will be making the Canadiens out of camp. But that's all I got. Let me know your thoughts down below. What are your thoughts on Justin Barron, other players? You name them. Let me know, guys. Thanks so much. We'll see you soon. Ciao.